Hey y'all, welcome back to Four Titles, One Truth.
It's you, man.
Coming up first, it's Lance. I'm Lance.
And I'm Tommy. Today, we're talking about one of the toughest, most important roles we've ever taken on. And that's being fathers.
Yeah, specifically being fathers while in the military. Because that combo, it hits a little different.
Yeah. Balancing deployment, duty, and changing diapers. Wee.
Yeah.
Never mind. Let's just get into it. All right. What was your first reaction to becoming a father?
Oh man, I was super excited.
Yeah.
Super excited, super proud. I mean, it was, woo. Woo, I was ready. Well, I thought I was ready.
Yeah.
But I was ready. I mean, I was ready to be a dad
Uh-huh.
at that time. So,
Your firstborn's name?
Mackenzie.
Yeah.
I had a little girl first. You know, we always wanted to have a little boy
Yeah.
first, thinking that's what we want. But
Till you get
we had a little girl, and it was just, woo.
Where was
Man.
she born in?
She was
The
born
US?
in at Fort Knox.
Fort
Knox,
Knox.
Kentucky.
Yeah, that's where my son was born.
Yeah, at Ireland.
Yeah.
That's my first hospital I worked in, and all of those good things. But yeah, it was it was great. And as far as the military,
Did the military influence that moment at all?
I'm gonna say yes and no, just because I mean we kind of were trying to plan it a little bit as far as when
To have kids?
when we were gonna have kids, when Audrey was gonna be pregnant, because we didn't want somebody to miss out on a schooling or something that they needed for promotion and things like that. So it kind of did, but not, and not really for the most part. I mean, because we were gonna have kids anyway, and if it would have been during a time, we would have made it work. But it just made it a little easier to try to plan it, somewhat plan it a little more. So.
What do you remember from that day?
All right, quick long story.
Okay.
So Mackenzie was born in May.
Right.
May 14th.
Mayflowers.
Yeah, May 14th. So what's going on during that time is the NBA playoffs and
You mean what's going on
all of
right
that
now?
stuff. Yeah, all of those things were going on. So, and that was 1998. And you know who was playing in 1998? Who was in the finals
It
again?
wasn't LeBron, so it must have been Jordan.
That's right, the GOAT. So
Wait a minute.
So we're sitting there watching. I was watching the game. It was a late
you
game.
and Audra.
Yes, sure. Yes, we were both watching the game. So it was a late game.
Uh-huh.
She had gone to bed. I got in the bed, and I got in the bed, and she was like, "Oh man," she said, "I feel like I'm having some contractions and stuff." And I was like, "You okay? Oh, it'll be all right. We still got another week. You're gonna be fine." So,
So she was 8+.
Yes.
Okay.
She was. She's about 39.
Ooh.
39 weeks.
Okay.
So usually at 40 weeks they say that's a full pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
She's at 39 weeks. So he's like, you got another.
You got time.
Yeah. So about 4 a.m, she got up, went to the bathroom, and we had at Fort Knox. We were in the housing there.
Okay.
They had like a little half bath in the master. So she, lights on, doors open, and she was in there. She's like, "I think my water broke. I think that was my water because that was a lot." I was like, okay. I said, let me take a shower real quick because I got to work. Because if it's not, then I'm gonna have to be up there for work. I'm gonna have to stay at work because I would have to be up there. And was I in the OR at that? Yeah, I was in the OR
Okay.
that time. No, I wasn't in the OR. No, 98 was I? No, I was.
Okay.
I was in the OR at that time. So it was like I had to be in the hospital. I would go to work by 5:30, 6 o'clock anyway. So I was like,
So you weren't a believer yet.
no. Well, I was probably in some denial is what
just
some of
ready
that
to go to
was too,
work.
because it's like, oh my God, first time parent, it's like, what's going on? And then and I have been in births, C-sections and things like that, being what my job was.
Right.
But that being your child, it's like, oh my God. So got her there, drove up to the thing. I've dropped her off at the little back door to get in, because while we're driving there, She's like, "Did you grab the bag?" I was like, "What? No." So I had to drop. I dropped her off. She went in. I drove back. Got the. It wasn't speed or nothing. It was just
Right.
got back. Got the bag. Got upstairs. They had already.
You
She
don't
had
have
her
a Father
gown.
of the Year mug for that year, do you?
Not on that.
Okay.
Not on that.
We're about to
Not on
revoke
that
that.
morning. I wasn't. That morning. It was woo. I was
Okay.
in straight denial. I was in straight denial
We got time.
that whole time. So
Okay.
she was already in. Had the gown stuff on. Anesthesia
They
provider
admitted
was
her.
there. Mm-hmm. Because
Okay.
they said you're in labor,
Oh.
and they were like, "Oh, okay, all right." So I'm what you call it. I ran down to the OR and said, "Hey, my wife's in. Like, I'm not gonna be here today." So got back upstairs. They're doing an epidural and all of that stuff. And as soon as they got that in, she started.
Coming.
Yeah, it started coming quick. So
Wow.
yeah, she was born really quick.
Quick
I mean, it
birth,
wasn't.
huh?
Yeah, it wasn't slow at all. So I'm sitting there holding a leg and
Being a teammate,
yeah,
breathing, huh?
yeah, breathing and crying at the same time. So yeah, so Mackenzie was born on that day, and luckily Fort Knox is only 90 minutes, 2 hours from Springfield. So called her mom and dad, and they were down there in a
Came
couple
right
hours.
down,
Yeah,
huh?
they came right on down. So, but yes, that was my Mackenzie story. I have another one for Miles that's
We'll get
crazy.
to. We'll
So
get to.
yeah,
Wow. So mine was also at Fort Knox. Jalen was born in '99,
okay,
so it was a year later. And so the difference is I wasn't with his mother. I wasn't married to his mother. Like
okay,
we were dating, but we weren't married. And it was the most amazing feeling that I didn't know I'd feel. Because when I first found out she was pregnant, I was like, oh my gosh,
mm-hmm.
I'm nowhere near dad material, but, and then I'll go ahead and answer the other part. The Army influenced that because earlier that year, they had cut our positions at Fort Knox.
Oh,
So we were forced to PCS, permanent change of station. So I left. I found out she was pregnant after I
and what
left.
was your rank? You said.
Specialist.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you didn't have
I ain't
much
have
of a.
no nothing. Yeah. And then all I was doing at Knox was playing basketball anyway. But so I ended up going to Virginia, Fort Eustis, and finding out that she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wasn't around for any of the pregnancy. I wasn't around. She was like, when she finally told me, I want to say she's probably like 4 or 5 months.
Oh,
Yeah. And it was one of those things where when I left, we didn't leave on the best of terms. Yeah. So it was,
so how did I mean? Yeah, how did
worst
that
case
make you
scenario.
feel? I mean, were you nervous, scared?
Well, when I found out she was pregnant, I did what most young men do. It ain't true. You're trying to be funny, or the sad truth. The negatives that come up.
Trying to trap me?
Yeah, or that it ain't mine.
It ain't mine. Yeah.
And so that was the initial stuff. But eventually, our relationship, we weren't getting back together, but it softened. And I was starting to get more contact
Okay.
and more information. So
Good.
the more contact and the more information I was getting, the more it seemed real. And so the more excited I got.
Okay.
Because, we all have dad issues, mom issues. So there's always something that maybe your parents didn't do that somehow affects you. The one thing that my dad didn't do, first off, I know for a fact he loved me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He named me after him.
Right.
Second off, I know he was proud of me because when I would overachieve, he would silently, let me know, but then he'd go back to my mom and his friends and talk, which they would come around and tell me. So I didn't grow up thinking that my dad didn't like me, but
Mm-hmm.
he didn't say I love you a lot. Yeah, he wasn't that touchy-feely kind.
Okay.
His hugs were like, all right, boy, like that. And it was just the way he was.
Okay.
To his son, now he hugged the mess out of my sister. But to be expected, right? Now I get it. But one thing I just kept telling myself is I'm always going to tell my son I love him. I'm
Right.
going to hug him. I'm going to look him in his face
Right.
from when he was born. Just all those things that I felt that I didn't get.
Yeah. See, I was fortunate that my father was
Yeah.
like, I mean, and that was my family, all my family that was there. I mean, we were a very close
Yeah.
family, and
Close
we
knit.
hugged
Yeah.
and I mean, it was just, we were there. I mean, and it wasn't, I didn't know it was anything different than
Right.
that, because,
Right. That's all you knew.
yeah, I mean, because Audra's family, they're not, I mean, they love each other, and but they weren't
Like
how my
yours.
family
Yeah.
was. I mean, and we weren't like over the top, but it was still like my father hugged me and kissed me and told me he loved me. It was, I mean, just all of that, man. So, I mean, that's why it was super difficult for me when I went to school, when I went away to school, because I
You-
was like, I love being
yeah.
at home. I mean, I was
Right.
comfortable.
Yeah.
But that's another conversation too.
But like I said, so, and we've talked about that before, and my father's family was in Troy, Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
or his brothers were in New Jersey. So I didn't have that base. And remember, there was a total of 10 of them. And then so all my cousins and stuff were there. My mom is from Middletown. And so I had my mom's side of family,
Okay.
but her brothers weren't fatherly, towards me. So I didn't get that. I got the love because my grandmother was still
Mm-hmm.
alive and she was so present in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I understand
my
that.
grandfather, we always went to visit him, and then my step grandfather was always there. So I had that family love,
Mm-hmm.
but I never had that cousin network
Oh,
that was at home.
ooh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
I
was.
had to. I mean, and I'm so thankful.
Oh
I had the network and
no.
still do
So I
talk to them
had
jokers.
I had close cousins. So please don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but as many cousins that I really have in Middletown, it should have been a strong network, and it was diluted somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the specifics of it, but anyway, um, so I was getting more and more excited,
Okay.
and then so the story is, um, I knew when she was supposed to
Okay.
have the baby, so since we weren't together, I was like, I'll just go home on leave. All right, I took leave and went
During that
home
time where
during
it's
that.
supposed to be
Yeah,
her due date or
yeah.
whatever.
Because like I said, her and I were in communication,
Okay.
and she was like, "Yeah, I think it's getting close or whatever." So I put in my leave, and then I drove to Ohio to hang out with my mom,
Mm-hmm.
my sister, and my father. And like you said, it was a 93-minute drive from my
Oh,
mom's front
even
porch.
closer
Yeah,
for y'all.
the mom's front porch to the base gate at Fort Knox. Now there's a gate, but and so we just was. It was just. I wish I could remember the night. I want to say it was Friday. I want to say it was Friday, Thursday or Friday. I can't remember, and I'm slapping myself right now for not. But anyway, I was home. Got home a couple days earlier, and it was when Star Wars, the episode 1 had come out,
Mm.
and we were as a family going to go see it because for some reason my dad always took us to see Star Trek the movie. We went to see Gremlins, and we went to see the Star Wars, and he secretly liked it, I guess.
Uh,
But so we all got in my little expedition. Well, my expedition.
call it expedition a
Man.
little.
Yeah, that's on me. I had them boom boom, that knock. But anyway, so we went to the movies and we were hanging out watching the movie, and then that's when cell phones were fresh.
If you had
Yeah.
one,
And
shoot.
so we get back home, and there was a message
Mm.
that I'm going into labor. And I'm like, what? And so I started panicking. Now remember, I'm 93 minutes away, so I'm panicking. Ain't nothing I could do, and I'm sitting there trying to let's go. And it was like 11:30 midnight at night
Oh,
because we went to the late show. And mom and dad were like, hey, you're not going anywhere tonight. You're going to go up there and try to get some sleep, at least to calm down a little bit before you get on the road. So, but anyway, when I woke up that next morning, I think it was probably around six or
mm.
seven. Um, Showered, got on the road, and was hauling butt, rolling. And I just remember this quick situation where I was on 71 headed down, and there was this lady. She was driving in the fast lane, and I was rolling, right? And the rule is you see somebody coming up on you, if they don't move, flash your headlights. It was
Mm-hmm.
daytime. And so I'm flashing them, and she didn't get over, right? So I had gotten close, but I started to back up, and that joker slammed on her brakes, and just to hit the brake lights, and then kept going. I was like, not today. Don't mess with me
Mm.
today. But anyway, made it through that one. So I ended up getting there to the hospital. Like I said, it was in Fort Knox at Ireland. And I run upstairs, elevator. I get to the room, and it's just her and a little boy wrapped in blue, swaddled in blue
Mm.
with his little cap on, just laying in the tray.
And
It's
what
the
year was he born?
99.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting there looking at him like, oh my gosh. And then I got permission to pick him up because I wasn't sure if I could hold him. But once they're swaddled, them jokers locked in.
Yeah, they are.
And so the biggest thing I remember first off is that um, everybody just kept talking about how I wouldn't let nobody hold him because I would always have. He never was in that tray again unless they needed to change him, and he was always just. I was in the chair, the big chair, just sitting there. Um, and I ended up. I was staying with her because we were cordial, and she was
Mm-hmm.
living on base housing. She was a specialist at the time,
Okay.
and she had a daughter. Her name was Jasmine, and I just remember, her getting released from the hospital, us going back to her house, and me just like in awe of the little dude. He didn't cry,
Oh,
he was just, and it
a little
seemed
stoic.
present. Yeah, he just
Mm-hmm.
seemed present when you look in his eyes. And so the next day that we got out, I hear a knock on the door, and it's my mom and my dad. And so I'm like, oh, hey, so I get up, open the door, and she just pushed me out the way, like I was like nothing. She didn't even say hi to me. She went straight to him and was just holding him because that was her first grandbaby. So, but it was, like you said, man, you can't describe it because
Yeah, it's a
it's
great
it's
feeling.
part of you,
Yeah, it's
and it was amazing. Um, and then the Army, that was before they had the what do you call it,
paternity leave.
male maternity leave, and that was before. Like I said, we weren't married, so it was my leave,
It's
my
your leave.
dime,
Yep.
yeah, and I had to leave to go back. But I think I did 30 days. I was able to do 30
Oh
days there.
man,
Yeah.
you really did
Well,
it.
I never took leave because it was never a thing,
Okay,
um, especially at Knox because I was right up the street. But
that's true.
it was I had 30 days, took 30 days, and it was amazing just knowing that that's your
Yeah, I
son.
mean they
And
grow so
oh
fast.
my
Yep.
gosh, um, and the military influence outside of with me not being married, just the fact that I was away
Mm-hmm.
uh, and had to get back to the pregnancy. And if it wasn't for my chain of command, they could have said no. You know, once again, I was a specialist.
Yeah.
Could have told me no. I could have had a hard time, but it was a great
That's
moment.
good. So, what were the hardest parts of being a present dad while serving your country?
Just like I said, we weren't married. Um, and on
So, you had
top of
just
that,
different situations.
yeah,
So, that you had to,
and we weren't in a relationship. Yeah,
so you really had to
yeah.
make an effort.
We thought that it was possible, but the distance and then the differences of opinions on
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and it was just too much to overcome. So, and just admitted that I wasn't thinking marriage. You know, I was too young to think about marriage in
Mm-hmm.
my mind, and too busy trying to figure out why I'm not a drill sergeant yet. You know, it's just so much. So the hardest part about being present was just the fact that once my leave was up, I didn't live in that house.
Okay.
And then not being married, never got stationed together.
Man, that would be rough.
Yeah, so it was
Were y'all ever close?
um, in
You said she
proximity.
was medical, right?
Yeah, in
Okay.
proximity.
Yeah.
No, it was all well. Virginia, she went from Knox to Stewart.
That's down in Georgia.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it was. It
So-
wasn't so far. It was still a drive, you know. At the halfway point was Bragg.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's still.
Well,
Well,
I
you said
mean,
you were in what, Eustis though,
Yeah.
right? All right, so that's
better
probably
than
like
her
a
being
couple
in
hours.
Hood or
Yeah,
something.
okay.
Because she did end up in Hood.
Okay.
So we were close enough to where I was going to make it happen. You
Okay.
know, to see, and then also the advantage was that I was able to keep him, you know, for weeks at a time.
Oh, good.
You know, so growing up, it was easier to be in his life because I would actually get him, and the advantage I had was that so my father passed away in '04, but that little short time that both my parents were still there kicking it is I was able to alleviate some of the stress if I couldn't get off, couldn't get leave, because remember I took 30 in that one bag, so it takes a while to get it back. And so I was able to drop him off and let them keep him so he'd still have the Jones influence.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm sure your parents wanted to
Oh, they loved
have
it.
a relationship
They
with
loved
him.
it.
Yeah.
And they absolutely did. And then when I could get leave, then I'd go there, or they'd bring him to me
Okay.
and stay with me for a week or so.
Oh, cool.
So it worked out. So it was cool. What about with you
All right. Well, for me, it was. I mean, I was
there?
there. You know, I was there. Didn't have a choice. I didn't have a
Sucker.
place to go. Couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Didn't want to go anywhere. Didn't want to go anywhere, y'all.
Before you start, if you don't mind, tell us the Miles birth.
Okay. So,
Uh-huh.
so Miles, he was born in 2000 in October
Where?
at Fort Lewis at Madigan.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So we had PCS from Knox to Madigan in '98.
Okay.
So it was
That's
fall
close.
of '98. So got up there, and I think it was Audrey had gone to the advanced course. I think they call it the Captain's Career Course now.
Mm-hmm.
So she had, and that was '99 when she did that. So hey, y'all, she got back home. I was ready.
You good?
Oh yeah, all right.
Let's go.
I was having, all right, let's go. All right. So
Silly.
so he during her pregnancy with Miles, she had she was in a study they were doing I think black women and like
Pregnancy?
no, it was a gallbladder. You know,
Oh.
they have gallbladder problems, and so she would get more. It was really so she could get more ultrasounds because it was like, oh, we're gonna get more ultrasounds. And so they end up finding out that she had low amniotic fluid. So it was
That's the
like,
fluid in the womb, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's the one
okay.
that the baby's swimming in
Swimming
and
in
what you
there.
call. So if it
Got it.
gets too low, that's not good, and you have premature like miscarriage and
Ooh.
things like that. So it was 39 because he was born at 39
Oh
weeks too,
wow.
just like Mackenzie.
Okay.
So it was like that visit during that week. Uh, they looked and said, "Oh, we got to have this baby today." And it was like, "What?"
Did you have the bag?
Oh, I had to go home. I had to go home get the
You
other
don't
baby.
ever.
I had to get the other baby, take her, and luckily we had the Houstons were
There too.
stationed there. Yeah,
Okay.
so it was like we were blessed that we were been at stationed at different places and watching each other, all of us
Why
grow
couldn't you
up.
have the bag,
But
man?
no, because it wasn't supposed to have a bag at that time. We were both at work
Okay.
during that time, so
Okay.
got got the she got the bag, went home, picked up the baby, dropped her off, got back up to the hospital. She was getting dressed, dressed out and all of that stuff, and she had to get induced.
Mm.
So they had started, oxytocin, yeah, the oxytocin and all of those things that help to induce the thing. So that was bringing on cramp. I mean, and they were cramps and everything else, and he was having like his heart rate was slowing up,
Oh,
and so
so
they were
you
putting her up
goodness
on all four. I mean,
motion.
just doing. So it was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So then they finally, she finally giving birth to him, and he was out, and I was just sitting there crying again because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I got a little
I
boy,
got a boy.
we got a
Yeah.
boy, and Audrey was like, boy, would you just cut the cord?
You were
Because I
holding.
was sitting there holding the scissors. So would you just cut the cord? I was like, oh, cut the
Oops.
cord, and so, but yeah, he was born. I mean,
Yeah.
healthy. Just super happy. And again, Audra's mom, she was first
Yeah.
grandparent out there.
Got on
Yeah,
that
Miriam
plane,
out
huh?
there with seeing her grandbaby. So yeah,
Oh, that's all right.
but it was that's the story with him. And as far as I haven't been fortunate that I haven't had to not be there stationed with them except for deployments
Oh,
and
yeah. Okay.
I had some Hurricane Katrina time that I was gone for a little bit. We'd do JRTC stuff.
So the
That's only like
majority of
3 weeks.
the time you were home.
Oh yeah,
I got it.
except for like later.
High school
Again,
years,
yeah,
right?
high
Yeah.
school years, and that worked out a little. Well, I don't say it worked out, but it worked out for one because Mackenzie was up at Baylor, I was up at Fort Hood,
Yeah.
so I was close to her, so I was able to go up and if she
More
needed
often.
something, and yeah, as opposed to
A couple of
being
hours.
down here. But
Yeah.
I wish I would have been down here because I was right when Miles started high school, and just to be there for him,
Absolutely.
as a young man
Yeah.
starting to really,
See their face, see
yep,
their
and understand,
reactions. That
yes,
yeah,
understand,
instead of
his environment that he
phone,
was in, and yeah,
dealing with the phone and
yep, and weekend because I
yeah,
would come home on the weekends and had to hear about stuff, or during the week when
right,
you get a grade alert or something like that, and it's not the same effect
right,
over the phone,
right.
as it is. We talking face to face right here.
You
What you
feel my
gonna say?
presence.
Yeah, what you gonna do?
I'm
So,
about to leave.
yep. So yeah. So absolutely blessed as far as not as being able to be there uh, uh, all the time. Pretty much
Yeah.
all the time. So
I will say this: I was there for his first laugh. I was there for his first steps.
okay,
There for his crawl.
that's good,
But
man.
when you start talking about kindergarten and the grades and stuff like that, yeah, I missed all of that.
Yeah, that's rough, man.
Yeah, it was.
You start really seeing their little personalities
Oh my
and
God.
stuff popping
Let me
out.
tell you something. Kids, so I had him one day with me in Newport News, and I was a staff sergeant, I do
Mm-hmm.
believe. And so I had soldiers, and my mom was there, to help me out when needed. So I'm just, he's like 2, 3, 2. I think he was 2. So I'm like rolling around town with him in the back seat. He's in the expedition second row, and just just walking with him on my shoulders, in the malls and stuff like that. But there was one time where I'm sitting in my living room in my apartment, uh, and it was a one bedroom, so it wasn't like it was the living room, and then it opened up to the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a counter on the at the kitchen that was normal height
Mm-hmm.
for us humans, and there was he saw me put my keys up there, right, and he liked to play with my keys, and I didn't have a problem with that, but at that point I just put them on the counter,
How about
not
all
thinking
was
about it.
he at this time?
Two,
Two.
two, little over two. And so I'm sitting on the couch, and he was sitting there with me. But then, he rolled over and scooted down, and he uh, just walking around minding his business. And I'm just sitting on the couch just looking at him. And there was a cooler, right, that I had by the door.
Mm.
And so,
Problem solvers.
oh my gosh, man. And
Problem
just sitting
solver.
there watching this just had my heart burning, man. It was just so proud,
Yeah.
and you
They
think your
want something,
kid's
they
a
gonna
genius
figure it
every
out.
day.
You see him do that?
Oh,
You see that?
I bet you ain't nobody did that.
Woo, he about to invent something.
But that joker, knew my keys were up there because he could see them from the couch.
Okay.
Right, and he saw me put them on there, and that joker went over to the counter, and it was a counter from the wall that had a pole that would keep it level
Mm-hmm.
on the end of it. So you could put chairs underneath it,
Okay.
or stools. And that little joker walked over to that pole and was like, reached his hand up. It was just too short. He couldn't reach the hand up. So then he walked around the counter, under the counter. He was just on each side. He was just like, what?
It's the best way to
Oh my
attack this.
goodness. Yeah. And so he was getting frustrated, right? So he went and sat on the cooler.
Mm.
And he's just sitting there, and it was the perfect seat for him. And he's just sitting there, and he just sees like something's going on in his head. And then he just stood up again. He went back to the counter and raised his hand up again and couldn't, and then turned around and looked at the cooler. And then I watched this little dude push that
Say
cooler.
drag it over there.
He just pushed it along the wall. It was like an L. He just pushed it and then pushed it and then pushed it and got it to where it was, he could climb up on it, and he did, and saw that it was high enough, but it was still too far over.
Mm-hmm.
So he got down, scooted it over,
Scooted it
climbed
closer.
back up, and then got my keys. I got a picture somewhere of him just sitting there with my keys, because I'm just like, I can't believe I just watched that happen. But, like I said, my heart was on fire. He was a genius. I knew it. So, but if you give in to the kids, they give you so much more back, So, move on. How did military life impact your kids' lives and upbringing?
Well, I'm just one of those fortunate, unfortunate things that they got to live in a lot of different places before we got down here and said, hey, let's try to get
Dig
them
in.
stable. Say if we got to move, then we'll move. If we got to change job, whatever, that's what we'll do. And this was a perfect place for it, just because this is the home of military medicine. So you got the largest hospital. You got all of the different schoolings with, everything is here dealing with what our professions were and entail. So, this was the place where we're like, okay, but between that, Kentucky, Washington, California, D.C., Virginia, North Carolina.
How old were they when y'all moved here and stayed here?
Mackenzie was in the 5th grade and Miles was in the 2nd grade.
Okay,
so
still very early.
10, 11, 12, something like that. And it was 2008. So 10 and 8.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. 10 and 8. So
That's great that y'all could do that.
yeah, I mean it was. I mean, like I said, we've been super fortunate, as far as being able, or we were super fortunate, both of us being medical, and then both of us being able to get the jobs and have the positions and stuff in order to be successful and get promoted to
To be
where
able
we
to have
both got to
some,
get promoted to, and that
Right.
was partly just a blessing, and then it was partly just sacrificing, sacrificing things for the greater
Yeah.
good of, because I was always looking for the future. I said this is a little short period. I'm looking for the long,
Right.
the long game, in the end. So
But just the fact that y'all were able, well, first off, the fact that y'all were able to, of course, grow into senior level officers and have at least an opinion about where you wanted and how you wanted to do it. But the foresight and the understanding of this military medical heaven, and being able to establish that, and then, like you said, one would go, but one would stay. That's sacrifice for real,
yep,
especially when you're envisioned it as us being together the whole
yep,
time. So that's
yeah. I
crazy.
mean, but yeah, and I think that the moving helped the kids to be able. I mean, they could make friends. Didn't have problem making
Adapt.
friends,
Yeah.
and they saw different places, different things, got the experience, different things. Still at a young age, but still, it wasn't a lot of separation anxiety
Right.
and things when it came to like doing daycare and doing
Right.
it, because they knew that they had to go to, because we had to go to work.
Right.
So I mean, they got introduced to a lot of those things. Some things I think they missed out on is the which I hate that they missed out on, was just that how I grew up, where I had all of my
Yeah.
my
The
family
whole
was there.
time.
Yeah, my whole
Yeah.
family was there. I think, and whenever I came up, I had two uncles that lived in Indianapolis with their families, but
Road
everybody
trip.
else, yeah, everybody else lived right
Away.
there
Oh.
in the St. Louis, St. Louis Centerville area, right there. Everybody was there. So I hate that they didn't get that piece, but they did get it
Right.
when they got old enough to in the summer. Whenever they got old enough to be able to dress themselves, wipe their own butt, and do all of those things, and it was like, okay, you can. We would send them to the grandparents' house. So they would stay with each the grandparents for a week, couple of weeks, week and a half, so that they got to
Oh.
see all of the
Right.
our families,
Get to
our
know everybody.
kids,
Yeah. Cousins.
cousins,
And all that stuff. Right.
and grandparents, and
And y'all get a break.
all of those good things. No, man, no,
It's all
we
about
missed
the
them.
kids.
We missed them so
It's
much.
about the
We just
kids.
wanted them to be there. But yeah, I think it helped them to be helped them to learn some resilience and stuff early on, and just to see what we were doing, understand that we were different than somebody whose parents weren't in the military. When they talk about, well, where'd you live? Well, we just moved from such and such. Or I like when we lived in.
Do you remember at all them acting out because they had to leave and PCS to another?
Mm-mm.
It was just like they're
Yeah,
ready
I
to
mean,
go.
I said we had.
And they
some-
were young too.
Yeah, I mean, and we had some good kids. I mean, we really do, because we didn't have any.
Well, Miles is a good kid.
Kenzie's good too. Kenzie's really good too.
She's great.
It's no drama. I mean, that's like I mean, whenever we had been here, I mean, they still, it was no teenage drama or none of that. Because we had friends that had some
Some
stuff. You'd be
issues.
like, what? You didn't choke that joke? I mean, don't get me wrong. We still had some
Yeah, they're still kids.
incident,
Yeah.
where it was like, you lost your mind, but it wasn't any.
Jail.
Yeah, it wasn't anything where it was just overt, talking back to just crazy stuff where it's like,
Yeah.
who you think I mean, stuff where it would just like stop you and thing, but it was just like little silly stuff where it's like, okay, and stuff like
It's
I could
expected.
understand,
Yeah.
and it wasn't. I said
Yeah.
that wasn't as bad as what I know
What's
that
his
I
name?
did
What's
whenever
his
I
name's
came
kid?
up.
He said-
But yeah, so yeah, I think it just helped them to I wanted, because I think I have mature. I think my kids they're more mature than what I was. They're more mature in certain situations when grown. I mean, than I was
as a grown up.
growing. Yeah,
Yeah,
growing up. But they're still like I still feel like that generation is still
different.
not as mature as
No,
us. Whenever we got to the point of being out of school, graduating and being
well, I
gone.
mean,
So
but that's
I mean, it's just, I mean, I guess all of the technology and all of that stuff, I mean,
absolutely.
they are
We
sharp with all of
yeah,
that stuff
I
where we're like, I
I
don't
can
know.
honestly tell you that growing up, I could go anywhere on 2 blocks. I'm talking about as young as like my dad when I could get outside the yard. I'm talking 8, 9,
Mm-hmm.
10,
Oh,
because everybody knew everybody.
that's,
That you could go and you could go play at somebody's house, go play in the yard. So you're always socially.
I was walking home from my
Yeah, I remember
kindergarten,
you told me that.
elementary school, and that was at least, I mean, it's in the neighborhood, but it was like, you have to, wasn't a straight shot. You
Yeah,
were walking through,
I had,
different streets to finally get to your house, and that was like at kindergarten. I mean, that was just,
I had to take a van to school.
was it the short van?
There's no short
Oh,
van.
okay. My bad. My bad. My
That's so
bad. It wasn't a
disrespectful.
minivan.
So disrespectful. It wasn't minivans when I was little, sucker. But anyway,
Is there a moment you regret missing, and how did you handle that emotionally?
so because my situation is so
Yeah, I was
different,
about to say. I
yeah,
bet you
I
have.
missed so much. And I didn't handle it well. Over the years, me and his mother, we never got on the same sheet of music ever. And so that relationship dried up. And then it seemed like at sometimes the kid was in the middle, Jalen was in the middle. So
That's rough.
I missed so much when it came to my son. I had the ability to keep him
Mm-hmm.
for a while, but then I'll say when he was about 12, that stopped. I invited him, or I had him. I was a first sergeant, and he was coming to spend time with me. I was at Campbell, and like I said, when I got him, my mom would always come,
Right.
and so I was able to keep him. And so he came, and the only thing his mother said to me was, he's put on some weight.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, master fitness trainer, man. I'm certified.
You're going to get
what
that
I
off
mean?
in a couple of weeks.
So he comes in, and that first night, I was like, look, I'm going to let you sleep up in the man cave because, we got this is what we got. Got the sound set up, and it's
Got the big TV
big
up in
screen.
there.
You're doing it, right? And I get up about 4:15, and I see the lights flicker, and I'm like, is it thundering? Ain't no PT, So go up there, and that joker been up all night playing them games. So I was like, hey, here's your warning. Don't do that. And then I end up going to work.
That went like this.
Here's proof. By the time I get home, my mom tells me he didn't wake up till like noon. I said, what? So I said, hey, I got something for you. I said, look, if it's like that tomorrow, you're going in with me.
Oh.
And so
He knew what
thought,
time you went in, didn't he?
100%. But you know what? When I have something in my head, I don't need an alarm clock. So I woke up a little bit earlier and look out my room around the corner, lightning. Okay, fella. So I start walking up the steps, and all of a sudden it gets
I
quiet.
said, did it get dark?
No, he was smart enough to try to keep the TV on, but he wasn't smart enough to turn the game off. And so he was laying there like, what did he say, Dad? I said, boy, get up. Remember, I was a drill sergeant for 3 years. I said, boy, get up. So he acted like he was asleep or whatever, but I ended up taking him into work and parked in my spot, but he slept in the car while I had my meeting, and then formation, and then after formation, we
Mm.
went and got that joker. Me
You
and
had them on the
him,
streets.
ooh, we went for a nice little walk run. And my plan was, hey, I gave you a chance and you
Mm-hmm.
crapped on my chance. So you're coming with me. It was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And what we're going to do is I turned it over to the platoon sergeant. Hey, I got this little fella. And so we start out walking. And then the whole time, I don't. You ever seen that show? What's the name of that? Up.
Yes.
Yeah, the little boy getting dragged by the balloons. I don't wanna go, but anyway, that's the way it was with him walking and stuff. So it was funny, but at the same time, I was trying to teach him. But after that, I was there for 2.5 weeks or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
summer, and it was hot. He just was not wanting to do anything. He always had. He never liked playing sports with me. It was because I I have my competitive.
No, I
You
understand.
saw it on a spades game
Mm-hmm.
one time in France, and that's why my wife won't play cards with me
You
often.
got upset, y'all.
Ooh,
Space champs.
well, I don't know about chance, but they won that game. But but he was just. I don't know if he was anti-sports and stuff because of me, or if it just wasn't him.
No, that's interesting, man. Because I asked Miles the same question because I was just like athletic growing up. That's what we did. I mean, it
Right.
was playing. It was flag football, tackle football, wiffle ball,
What have you? Yeah.
whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
We kickball. We were. That's what we did.
Right.
And I I know having it's like, man, you got the potential.
Ooh,
You
it's
got
in
the
your
genes.
genes.
You
Yeah,
can do. Oh
absolutely.
man, you can.
My
Woo!
daddy
I'm
had it.
ready.
I had it.
I'm ready.
You
I'm ready.
got it.
But yeah, but it was he and I asked him. I said, "Did you
As
not
an
want to?"
adult, you
Yeah, as
asked
an
him. Okay.
adult, I asked him. I said, "Did you not want to play, or what was the?" And he was like, "No," he said, "I just didn't." But just wasn't
Wasn't
interested,
his
didn't
thing.
like it, and then he, then he fessed up and said, and I was a lazy kid too.
Well, at
I was
least.
like, okay,
Hey,
all right,
hey,
so, cause Miles was a little chunk, he was a little
little,
chunky,
little chunky
yeah,
butt.
he was a little chunky all the way
Yeah.
through high school. I mean, he really started like working out seriously when he was probably his junior year
Mm,
in high school, and
yeah.
then he did it all through. He's thin,
Mm.
nice built young man now. So, but he just didn't. I mean, and he still doesn't have a sports.
Sports
Just
talk.
is not
Yeah.
something that he. I
Mm.
mean, he'll watch some stuff. Like he said, I watch some basketball and
Mm.
stuff, but I'm not
He
watching
ain't
the
gonna
whole
challenge you
game.
to 1-on-1.
No, he ain't doing none of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not. It's something. I mean, and that was something that was probably hard for me to go. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, but
Nah, it was like I said, that 12, I think it was 12. But after that, our relationship just completely just dried up, man.
man,
Yeah, it was I didn't see him again until he was 16,
oh wow,
and I'm
man.
talking change of phone numbers. I'm talking not being able to stay in contact with his mother.
I was gonna say, did you talk? I mean, were you able to at least talk to him on the phone and stuff, or?
No, not during that time. And then 16, I was going to the academy, Sergeant Major Academy, and I came here because Nikki was here,
Mm-hmm.
and then I found out he was here. Yeah, didn't know, and didn't know he was still here because he was here when I came back from Iraq
Okay.
and all that stuff. So, but anyway, found out he was here, and then I was able to make contact with him, and he had failed his driver's test because he couldn't parallel park. but I was able to help him in
There
my
it is.
Stang.
Yeah, there it
I
is.
helped. Well, I didn't let him park my Stang, but anyway, but I was able to help him with parallel parking. I still got the video, and had like every time I've talked to him, I try to not overwhelm him
Mm-hmm.
because I know that I have a presence, and especially when I'm eager, I can step on people. And so I try to just ask simple questions and wait for answers. But at 16, he wasn't ready to give me no answers. So I left to go to Korea, South Korea, and I was over there for 2 years, and the relationship didn't last maybe a couple weeks. And then 17 to 21. So 4 more years. Yeah. 4 more years. I'm retire and find out he's here. So, well, find out he's here and then try to work with Nikki to
Mm-hmm.
get us to San Antonio and um, found out talking to his mother, found out where he lived and lived and worked in San Antonio. So I was like, wow.
Okay.
Um, she had moved to out of state, and I was found out he worked at a coffee shop. Uh, Went to the coffee shop to surprise him because I couldn't get in touch with him. Come to find out, because he was ignoring my calls, because I went to the coffee shop and sat there for 2 hours while he was working, and he was working in the back, and he came out and saw me once, but played it off and went in the back and never came out the back again. So I went up to the counter when I first got there and asked for Jalen, and they said they'd let him know, and that's when he came out and saw me, and then went back in. Then I asked again, and I was starting to feel like a grown man, and I don't know if he's telling them that I'm his father. So I was like, let me try one last time. And I said, can I speak to Jalen? And then there was a new girl there, a different girl, not
Mm-hmm.
new, I don't know. And she was like, okay, yeah, let me go get him. And then she came back, and the look on her face, she was just like, I'm so sorry. But he said that he doesn't want to see you. And I'm like, from that point on, I'm like, what have I done? You know, and to get that type of reaction to where I'd rather him come and cuss me out,
Right.
but to not see me. And then relationship, he ended up moving up towards San Marcos,
Okay.
and
It's
hadn't
still in the area. I
I
mean, that's
know
not.
hadn't heard anything from about like a year and a half, and then all of a sudden get a phone call, and so him and his girlfriend ended up breaking up, and he was struggling, and so I guess he was talking to his mom, and his mom told him to call me, and then so I'm receptive, hey, what you need, blah blah
Mm.
blah, and the only thing I told him was, I was like, look, I do not want this relationship to be about money and be about me saving you. I said, I'm always help you. I said, but I want to see some effort of phone calls, texts,
Yeah.
and all that. And after I saw him for the first time, we hugged, we had talked. I got him something to eat. He showed me his place, and we talked about his situation. And I gave him, advice because I've been through the stuff he was going through, which has been my biggest thing, is because there's certain points in a boy's life where a man that has great intentions towards
Mm.
him is needed,
Okay. I'm gonna ask you this: did he have any other male
not that I know
influences
of.
when he was?
I mean, his mother was married a few times.
Uh huh.
Um, I do not know how their relationship was
Okay.
because when that was happening, that's when those 4 year periods was there. So I don't know. I don't really know that guy that
I know
well.
that was rough. I mean, I know that's rough, Tommy, because I know that you had a close relationship with your dad. I mean,
Yeah,
that's just hard for me to just, man, I just
yeah,
not wanting to or not trying to or putting the effort towards having a
something.
relate. I mean, and exactly what you said is like, yeah, I would rather come and cuss me out so
Yeah,
then we can start having some conversation
so I can
about,
at least know.
look, yeah,
Yeah,
let's try to get. I mean, it's been jacked up, messed this up,
yeah.
but
Move
now it's
forward.
like,
Yeah,
please, I just want to. We share this blood.
yeah. I mean, you are me.
Yeah.
And so Nikki and I, we just had a conversation with another couple, Jax
Mm-hmm.
and Candace. And so Jax was in has a similar situation with his children, and he was like, man, and everybody in my whole life has been telling me two things. One, we know your heart. He'll come back. That's the
Mm-hmm.
one thing I've held on to. And then two, so at one point you're going to have to quit trying, because you're bringing more of the pain and hurt to yourself.
Yeah.
And of course, I didn't listen to any of that because I always felt that my whole life, I've always believed, specifically in my military life, as long as you can see the good intentions, then the people who mess up or the people who fall short or whatever, you can build them up, right? But
Mm-hmm.
when you start seeing negative intentions in their actions and in their things to do, then that's when you know you've lost somebody, right? Because there's a saying out there that every soldier's trainable. And I'm telling you now, that's a lie. There are just some straight up bad people out there.
Some duds.
It's rare.
Yeah.
It's even worse than duds. Duds don't get it, but there's some bad people out there. The brighter side is Kaylin,
Okay.
right? So Nikki and I had children before we
Mm-hmm.
even met, and Nikki's daughter's name is Kaylin, and talking about the opposite.
I was about to say, you talking about when you say the bride, you talking about the relationship
I'm just
piece
talking
of it.
about
Yeah.
yes. So it's crazy how a child that's not yours
Biologically.
biologically,
Mm-hmm.
right, can steal your heart and honor you
Mm-hmm.
more than your own. Then
Yeah, that would be
that's
rough, man.
no.
That
So
that would be extremely hard.
man, so I met Kaylin when she was like 5 or 6,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, she had little pigtails on the side, and she was in the back seat. We were on the way to Jillian's,
Okay.
this little game, uh, a game place where you go play video games and all that stuff. And it was in Virginia,
Okay.
and she was just a sweet little girl. But at the same time, Nikki and I weren't. Uh, I think we both knew we weren't going to be boyfriend girlfriend at that time because I
Okay.
told you, Nikki wasn't a fan of me outside of the initial me because I was Army, and I
Mm-hmm.
can't explain it to people unless you know me how Army I used to be, but I'm still me. But and so that's one of the things to where you don't know where you fit in, and we've talked about this, but at the same time, you see the talent, you see the capabilities, you
Mm-hmm.
see um, the potential in Kaylin, and I was just fortunate enough that I wasn't always in her life because Nikki had that barrier up, but the contact I had, and then the closer Nikki and I got, closer I got to Kaylin, and so I was there to help her learn how to drive. You know what I'm saying? I was there at her high school graduation.
Mm-hmm.
I was there at her performances in high school.
Like she was accepting
Oh
and
my gosh.
arms open.
Yeah, and I was there when she graduated from Florida State, and I helped her move into a part. I've done
Mm-hmm.
fatherly things, and she called me, was like, and tells me Happy Father's Day, and I don't think she understands how much that
That
just sets my heart on fire, and how just wonderful. Even if she just called and said Happy Father's Day and hung up, that
still think
everything
about it.
after
Yeah.
that is like a bonus and whatever. Um, and so yes, I've had the troubles with Jalen, and I'm every day hoping that things will get better. But I will say that, as you know, having an older daughter and a younger son, you do have those moments where you're like, I wish this Joker could, because I could literally die happy if Kaylin and Jalen had a relationship. I could walk off this earth
Mm.
and feel that, um, if that's what it took to set him up with a connection for the rest of his life, I would say, okay, yes, Lord, I'll take that. Because I he needs somebody to lean on, and if it's not going to be me, then I think I've had enough influence with her
Mm-hmm.
that I think that she would get the Jones version of the help,
Okay.
if he needed help or whatever, or not help like he's out there, uh, the completion of family,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. So, but I just I've missed some with Jalen, but I've had the opportunity
Okay.
uh, to remind myself that I'm okay, because I know I'm talking a lot, but that Jalen, the issues with your son, your firstborn, and then to have issues that I will forever not be right, as long as that relationship is not right. Yeah. So
It's hard with I'll say little boys, but it's hard with men, little
absolutely. Once
young
they
young men, because you want to pass on the knowledge that you have. You want to show them,
yeah,
how to. You want to show
save
them how to
them.
be a man,
Yeah, not
and
save their life, but
yeah,
save them
just
from the trip ups
yeah,
that you've had, and so.
yep.
But I will say this: the conversation I had with Jax is, and he gave me some of the best advice. He was like, the main thing I see that you might need to start doing is you have to stop looking at him as a kid.
Hey, he's a
Yeah, he's
man.
a grown
Yeah, I
man
mean, I
now.
do the same thing with Miles.
Yeah,
It's like, and I tell him, it's like you are not a
yeah,
kid, and you said you are a man. You are a
grown man,
grown man,
absolutely.
grown, and these are grown ass man
Decisions.
decisions and responsibilities and
Yeah,
things that you have to do. So I'm always trying to tell them, say, hey, if you don't pay, one bill, and you pay that insurance, you pay that, all those essentials.
right.
I mean, just stuff where it's just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That type. I mean, and that's
Yeah,
doesn't sound like but it's just like things that they need to
as
hear,
a
need to
man, absolutely,
understand.
absolutely.
Uh,
Yeah,
you
the
know,
responsibilities.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
and like again, I was fortunate that I didn't have to miss. I didn't have to miss a lot of stuff. I mean, when I was deployed, miss birthdays and
yeah,
things like that. But I mean, I've just been fortunate to be there for the
right.
graduations, from high school, from college, from, all of those
The events,
moments.
yeah,
Yeah, all of
yeah,
those
moments,
moments,
yeah,
that
that you'd want to
folks
be.
deem,
Yeah,
and I've been there for just watching, make the National Honor Society, or watching them
Just growing
play in
up.
the band,
Yeah.
just those moments, because some of those moments are sometimes better than it's his
Just super
birthday.
accomplishments. Yeah.
Because it's like
And
just
that's what I miss, man.
yeah. It just be. And I hate for you that you don't. It's just being able to talk to them as adults. It's like, man,
Yeah.
these some good kids. Or it's I call them kids because they are my
Yeah.
kids, but they're good adults
Yeah.
who
Same way with
watching
Kayla.
them interact with
Yeah.
you all, and with other
Yeah.
adults and stuff. Being like, okay,
Yeah.
we
Maybe we did
we
all
did,
right.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
did okay, because you never feel like you did. I always feel like I never
Enough.
did enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always like, dang, what could I have done different, or what, and I always question myself to that. But now I go back and ask them. Now it's
Yeah.
like,
Now
hey
you
man,
have
what could I?
ability.
Is there something that I didn't do, or you feel like
Yeah. I
what?
cheated you
Yeah, so
on
I
or
can be
shorted you
like,
on.
yeah, or I could explain it to
Yeah.
in a way. It was like, okay, because
Mm.
I don't ever want them to have
Yeah. That
any
built up anger.
questions or doubts or
No.
what ifs or things
Yeah.
like that in their head, like, well, what if they could have done this, or what. And I think for the most part, that's why asking Miles about the sport, I was like,
Mm.
did I make you not want to do that or play? Was I pushing? He's like, no. I said, you introduced me to all of the stuff. I just wasn't interested in
Yeah.
it. That wasn't my thing. And I was like, okay, well. But then it forced me to have to get out of my comfort zone and try to go
Yeah.
to
Find out what they.
what his thing and what their things were, that what their interests were, so that I could be building a relationship and
Yeah.
have. And they, again, doing that made me
Mm-hmm.
do some stuff that I normally, like, I'm not
Yeah.
sitting here playing this video game.
It's
I'm not looking
similar.
at this book, or because Mackenzie's a big reader, so
Now you read more.
I listen to him on
Yeah. Me too.
audiobook when I'm walking.
That's right.
So, but yeah, it's again, that's, man.
Yeah. But the good news is I do have moments like you were talking about that. So Avatar,
Hmm.
the TV cartoon Avatar, that was something that he was really into, and something that I was like, well, let me see. It turns out it's a great series, but
Airbenders.
yeah, but it was. I've had the ability of understanding, like you just said, trying to get to know them and get to know, and that's why I said the blessing of all
Hmm.
this is Kaylin, just getting to see her as an adult,
That's
living her
awesome.
life in New York, and just you know feeling like
Yeah.
you're a part of that. So
Yeah. I hear you.
so what's something you hope your kids learn from watching and seeing you in uniform every day for 29 years?
Don't be afraid to work hard.
Oh.
Don't be afraid to work hard. Don't be afraid to take chances.
Yeah.
Because that's all. Me and their mother,
Yeah.
we worked hard, took chances with things, and we made sacrifice. And don't be afraid. Sometimes you got to make a sacrifice, and look for what that sacrifice is going to grant you. Grant you in the end. And that's what a lot of the stuff that we like. Again, a lot of the stuff that we did is we made sacrifices for
Your family.
the,
Yeah.
the family,
Yeah.
so that we can get to a point where we can go on some of these vacations and just be able to do some of the things that we've been able to do and see, and hopefully that's something that sticks with them, so whenever they do have families, and they can say, well, I saw my parents, did it. It's doable. I don't want to ever want them to be afraid.
Work.
Yeah, be able to take the chance, or
Yeah.
feel like, yeah, I hope they, and I know that they do, and I hope if they don't, I will absolutely tell them is that, I got their back
Yeah. No matter what.
no matter what, so don't ever be afraid to do something to think, oh, I'm not going to have some place to live, or I'm not, no, just, I got
Try.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
do it. I got you. You got the,
Yeah.
we are here for you, so but that's it. Just sacrifice, work hard, don't be afraid to take chances.
Yeah. Um, First off, I would hope that they're proud. Um, I will say that seeing me and Nikki in uniform has pushed our kids away from serving. We've had that conversation.
Yeah.
So, but I hope they have pride. But I also agree with you. Uh, the how I busted my butt, how Nikki busted her butt, and I hope that they interpret that as you can get whatever you want, And one thing I know, Kaylin specifically, because she talks about it all the time, is I want to be where y'all are, and she's in the process where she's starting to make money,
Mm-hmm.
and she's starting to understand that even though you make money, you don't always have a lot of money.
No,
Yeah, so
especially where you live and
absolutely. Yeah, so ending up in a comfortable space
yep.
is a lifelong goal that sometimes you don't even know you're working towards.
Yep.
But I just make it simple. Like you said, have the courage to continue going where we didn't go,
Mm-hmm.
right, and where we weren't
Oh
allowed to
yeah, I
go.
mean, because you always want them to do better,
Yep. And
better
then
and more than what you
yes,
did if possible.
and then secondly, uh, the restraints that we fought to take off of you, uh, don't take that lightly, you
Right.
know. And it's not remember where you came from. It's more of remember who you are, right?
Right.
If you remember who you are, black woman, black man, and I'm talking about my kids, then they understand that. And when they are going out in the world, they're looking at a different lens, and their goals are matched with intensity,
Yeah.
matched with the effort, and
Well,
matched with the
just
courage.
knowing that you got to work harder. You
Oh my
can't you
God.
can't be work the same
Oh.
as some others.
Mm.
Sometimes you have to work harder, and that can't be a crutch or
Excuse. Yeah.
handicap for
Yep.
you. I mean, that's got to be a motivator for you.
Absolutely.
So,
If that's what it's got to be, then that's what it's
yep,
going to be.
yep,
And guess what? When I get there, I'm gonna walk, say something.
that's right.
Oh
Head
boy,
high, shoulders back. Yep.
that's something, man. That's something I learned from my dad. Is like, if you know you've earned what you work for,
Yep.
don't let
Can't nobody say
nobody,
nothing to you.
don't let my dad, oh my God, don't let nobody tell you different. And he was like that, and that's how he raised me. So just be proud of who you
Yep.
are, and always remember, hey, you got
Absolutely.
a Jones stamp on
That's right.
you. Just know this and remember this. We know we weren't just soldiers because we were fathers, we were husbands, and we were sons and all that, right? But all that meant was while we were trying to succeed and lead at work, we still had to figure out how to be present at home.
Yeah, we had to play those other roles. Yep.
Absolutely. And if you
Or be
see the
those other
two of
roles.
us, you see that there are two different ways that happened. And some of us may have fallen short on our kids' expectations. But my hope is the kids know that we gave our all. We gave our best efforts
Mm-hmm.
and had the greatest intentions for them and their lives.
And still here for them.
Absolutely. Yes, that's key.
For whatever, and whatever. So
We set ourselves up so we could be exactly what Lance said. We are always going to be a safety net.
sometimes we nailed it. We were there. Then sometimes we may have fallen short. But one thing's for sure. We love our kids. Love, love, love them. And we're
True.
so proud of the men and women they've become.
Love them and proud of them.
Yep.
Do me a favor, let us know in the comments what fatherhood has meant to you, and even motherhood,
Yep.
right? Also, if you want to give a shout out to that military father in your life,
Make sure you follow us at 4Titles1Truth on Instagram, TikTok, and watch us on YouTube.
right?
Look at you.
It's a
Tune
good
in.
watch.
Look
It's a
at
good
us.
watch. And finally, if you're liking our podcast, because we're getting out there,
Yeah.
leave us a review.
Please leave us
That
a review.
review absolutely helps us in spreading the word about
Yes.
who
Please,
we are.
please do. Please
Yes.
do. And join us next time, y'all.
So what?
we
So
we
what?
can keep the conversation going.
That's what I'm talking
All right.
about. All right.
All right. Peace
Holla.
out, y'all.